A man walked up to my desk at the bank with tears in his eyes and said, "I'm so sorry. I don't want to be doing this." Then opened his shirt to reveal a bomb strapped to his chest. I pressed the silent alarm under me while staring at the digital timer showing 47:23 and counting down. "Please, just hand over the money," he said, looking at me like he was silently pleading for help. His voice was so broken that I actually looked at his face instead of the bomb. 40-something pizza delivery uniform, already soaked with sweat even though it was freezing outside. I started pulling cash from my drawer with shaking hands while he stood there crying. Not the aggressive posture of a bank robber, but hunched and terrified, looking at the timer like he was held captive by something. My engagement ring caught on the bills, and I thought about my fiancé, about the wedding in 3 months that I might not live to see. "All the drawers," he whispered. "They said all the drawers." My coworker Chloe was frozen at her station next to mine, and I had to say her name 3 times before she started emptying her drawer too. Her hands were shaking so badly she kept dropping bills, and I wanted to tell her it was okay, but nothing about this was okay. We'd practiced robbery drills, but never this. Never a human bomb who looked as scared as we were. Steve, our manager, approached slowly with his hands visible, using his manager voice calm and steady, asking the man if we could help, if there was another way. The man shook his head violently. "They're watching. They said if I don't come out with the money, they'll detonate it." His hand went to his neck, and I saw ligature marks, fresh ones, like someone had put something around his throat, a collar maybe, before the vest, testing his compliance, making sure he'd do what they wanted. "Who?" Steve asked. "Who's doing this?" The man looked at the timer before answering, like he was calculating how much time he could waste on explanations. "I don't know their names. I delivered a pizza to their house, 37 Elm Street, the old Victorian. They said come inside for the tip, and then," he gestured at the bomb. "They put this on me in the garage, showed me the remote, made me watch them test one on a mannequin." My stomach turned. This morning he'd probably been worried about normal things like gas prices and making rent, and now he was going to die for $37 a pizza. I handed him stacks of 20s, and his hands shook so badly he dropped them. Bills scattered across the floor, and he fell to his knees trying to gather them, sobbing apologies. This wasn't a criminal. This was someone's dad or husband delivering pizzas for probably $12 an hour, and now he was going to die. "Leave them," I said. "Take what you have." He looked up at me from the floor. "They said all of it, every drawer, or they'll kill me." The timer showed 32 minutes. 32 minutes that he'd spend walking around knowing he was going to die. Maria from window 4 brought her cash over, then Tom from window 5. Everyone moving in slow motion, trying not to look at the bomb but unable to look away. The man stayed on his knees, shoving money into a delivery bag that still smelled like pepperoni. "What's your name?" I asked. "Paul," he said. "Paul Torres. I have 2 kids, 13 and 10, the same ages as my nephews." I pictured them waiting for their dad to come home from work, not knowing he was here, wearing death strapped to his chest. Steve was on the phone with someone, probably the police, speaking in code. Paul noticed and started shaking harder. "They'll see the cops," he said. "They'll detonate it if they see cops." "How far away are they?" I asked. "I don't know. They just gave me an address and said I have 1 hour total." He looked at the timer. 29 minutes. "They told me to get the money and drive to them. It would take 21 minutes to get there, wherever there was." I watched him struggle to zip the bag with shaking fingers and realized whoever had done this had no intention of letting him live. They'd get their money and probably detonate the bomb anyway. No witnesses. "My kids," Paul said suddenly, looking at me. "Can you tell them I'm sorry, that I didn't want to do this?" "You're going to tell them yourself," I told him. He shook his head. "They're not going to get me live. I saw their faces. I could identify them and they know it. It's over. They were laughing when they put this on me." Laughing. The timer hit 27. Paul stood up with the bag, turned toward the door, then stopped. He looked back at all of us, these strangers he might take with him when the bomb went off. "I'm supposed to walk out alone," he said. "If anyone follows, they'll detonate." Steve said, "Paul, wait, maybe we can—" "There's no maybe," Paul said. "I deliver pizzas. I was just doing my job. Tell my kids I was just doing my job." He walked toward the door, the timer at 25, carrying maybe $40,000 that wouldn't save him. I couldn't stand frozen, and at that moment, I decided to act. Full story on the channel below.